Yes, people, how are we doing? So I'm going to do a bit of a live Q&A, but I will talk a little bit first about what the video is going to be about. So if any of you watched the video I done yesterday, when I done a live with Sean Atwood, talking all about Tommy Robinson and the Muslim gangs inside of high security prison. And there was quite a lot of subscribers on doing some questions, and I was answering them. And obviously, with that video, there's been a lot on the news the last couple of days, more so yesterday, about the Muslim gangs inside of high security prisons. If you go and have a look online, there was quite a few articles released yesterday, more so inside of inside of HMP Franklin, talking about this ongoing situation. But I have got about maybe a bit of a spare half an hour to do this live. So any questions when I've finished talking about the gangs inside of high security prisons, then fire away. I see there's quite a few comments coming through now, and I will respond to you in due time. But the gangs, or the Muslim gangs in high security prisons, as it says in the thumbnail of this video, is the system on the brink of disaster. And what I meant by that is, I released a video as well last night. What was his name? I can't remember his name, actually. He's just been sentenced to a hospital order, time without limit. Aklaka Rahman, that was it. There's a bit of a tongue tie there. His name, because I was trying to remember it. But Aklaka Rahman has been sentenced to a hospital order with time without limit for attempting to murder 7 screws. He obviously went into prison. He was only doing a relatively short sentence to start with. Then he got a life sentence for attacking screws, attempting to murder them. And whilst in Belmarsh segregation unit, he attempted to murder another 4 officers by stabbing them in the neck and in the eyes. And for that, he got the hospital order, which is time without limit, meaning he can be kept for the rest of his life, which he will be. He'll be sent to a secure hospital, and he'll be getting doped up to the eyeball so they can keep him under control. But he was an extremist, and he was also trying to radicalize the other inmates. So in the high security prisons, in Franklin prison, there is a wing for radicalized Muslims. But this is just playing into their hands, to be honest, because they do not want to be on a wing with normal location lads. They want their own wing for like-minded people. And that's exactly what they've gotten. In Franklin, they've got a wing for radicals, and there's only them type of inmates on that wing. They're saying to keep them there so that they don't radicalize the other inmates. But they've now got a wing to themselves where no one else who is a non-Muslim will be on that wing for obvious reasons. And they are opening more of these units inside of high security prisons because the prison estate is overrun with Muslim gangs. More so in the high security prisons, they have got a stronghold on the prisons, well, the high security prisons. A lot of people who haven't, or a lot of prisoners or ex-prisoners who are out here now, some of them have commented who's been watching the channel saying that's not what happens. It might not happen, well, it doesn't happen in the local prisons. The Cat Bs, a lot of them are quite similar, and the Cat Cs obviously different. But in a high security prison where the majority of people are doing 30, 40-year recs, lifers who aren't getting out again, a lot of them, more so the black lads, are converting to Islam inside the prison to become part of the Brotherhood, because they are a force to be reckoned with, and they have got a stronghold on the high security prisons. So a lot of these lads that are now Muslim inside of prison weren't Muslim when they were out on the streets. But a lot of them are from like a gangbanger background. They grew up around gangs all their lives. on rough estates, the likes of London, Birmingham, Manchester, and from a young age, they've been in that mentality to be a part of a gang. That's just the way they've been brought up. That's their background, their neighbourhoods, their estates, like the postcode was. They've always been a part of a gang from being kids. Then they get sent into a high security prison, doing a recommendation of 30 years for murder. They're now feeling what you would say maybe is vulnerable because they're no longer part of that gang that they've been a part of their whole life. But then they get in the high security estate and they get offered to convert to Islam to be a part of the Muslim Brotherhood inside of the high security prison. And that's what they do, because when they're in there, they're back in that gang mentality, and that is the reason why a lot of them do it. So that is what's happening in the high security estate. But a lot of these Muslim prisoners, not all of them, but some of them, are radicals, and they try to radicalize the other inmates. And it's happened in HMP Whitemore, where they tried to behead a prison officer. 3 Muslims, I believe it was, 3 extremists targeted an officer, and their aim was to take his life. They were wanting to behead him inside of prison. Fanatics who wanted a name inside of the high security estate, and they did attempt to murder the prison officer. He did manage to escape with his life, but they were obviously they get put inside of that radical unit, and they've had extra time or extra life sentence added on to the already existing life sentence. And this is the reason why I done the video yesterday with Sean Atwood, because he was wanting to talk about Tommy Robinson and his experiences inside of HMP Woodhill and why he is in segregation. A lot of people believe, who's following Tommy's story, that he's in there as a punishment by the prison system. The people that run or the staff and the governors who run HMP Woodhill probably didn't want Tommy in their prison. But because he's been sent there, they've then got a duty of care to take care of Tommy so that he doesn't become attacked and his life isn't taken from him, which probably would happen if he was to go on the normal location wings. And that is the reason that they're keeping him down segregation, away from everybody else, so that he doesn't become, well, a victim in the takeout. Some of these inmates are wanting to take out some sort of prison justice on Tommy, and they will end his life. It's already been said that there's a lifer in HMP Woodhill that is wanting to take his life if he comes onto the normal location wings, and that's the reason, and the only reason, why they're keeping him there. Like I said in that live yesterday, he shouldn't be in there to start with, but because he is there, he's under their care, and they will not let him go on the wing to become a victim to radicals, because that's exactly what would happen. But the gangs inside the high security estate, in all of the 5, there's 5 dispersal prisons. It's more so the 4, which is Franklin, Full Sutton, Long Lartin, and Whitemore. There is obviously Monster Mansion, which is Wakefield, but that is predominantly Bacon's. So it's not the same sort of mentality as it is in the other 4 that I've just mentioned, because those 4, the Muslims have got a stronghold on those prisons, and anyone who's got trouble with them, which is a lot of the lads inside the high security estate who are non-Muslims, who are also from notorious backgrounds, and I'm talking about some big notorious gangsters who have had altercations with the Muslim Brotherhood, and they've then been sent to another prison. But what happens if you've had trouble with the Muslims, just say Franklin, you get sent to Whitemore, which is predominantly Muslims in that prison. That individual is banging trouble. The screws know this, the governors know that. So they will then put these prisoners into segregation for their own protection, even though they're saying, I want to go on the wing, the governors won't let them in case of what's going to happen to them or in case of what they're going to do to get off the wing and attack someone as soon as they land there. So that's the situations that's going on inside the high security estate. But like I mentioned in that live yesterday as well, it's one rule for one and one rule for another. As in, like I've just mentioned, these non-Muslims who have got trouble with the Muslims are wanting their own, the ones that are in segregation. Some of them are in for 2, 3, and 4 years at a time through no fault of their own. As in, they're not down there saying they don't want to go on the wings. The governors are keeping them down there. But these lads are requesting a unit or a wing to themselves, like the radicals have got, so that they don't have to spend years on end in segregation. But the prison system won't allow it. But yet they will allow the Muslim extremists to have units to themselves, but they won't allow the non-Muslims who have trouble with the Muslims to have their own space, to have their own unit. Yet they're getting kept in segregation and treated like animals just because they've got problems with the Muslims. And this is what I was broadcasting yesterday on the live when Sean was asking us. And a lot of my members and subscribers have been asking us about this. And that's the reason why I've come on today to do this live. And if anyone has any questions, fire away in the comment section and I will do my best to answer them. But if you have just joined the live, because there is a lot more people in now, I am just talking about the Muslim gangs in the high security estate and referring to the live I done yesterday with Sean. If you haven't seen it, it's on my channel under the live section or it's on Sean's channel. But also while I'm on, if you're all watching this now, because sometimes when I upload, finish the live, it will be uploaded later on. I'm about 400 subscribers away from that 100,000 followers or subscribers rather. So if you're not already subscribed, double check. And if you are enjoying it, click that button, people. Help us get to 100,000 subscribers. Right, I'll have a quick look in this comment section. Oops, it's just went off there. Make sure I don't knock that off by accident. 2 seconds, people, because I'm actually on my phone at the moment. And I'm just making sure that I don't accidentally knock this off. Oh, here we go. Normally I get me, I do these lives on my laptop, but I am. Right. So Colin Summers says, yeah, 2 seconds. There we go. First time I've done this on my phone, so bear with us, people. Why is this allowed in our prison system? Again, if you have just joined, it is, it's happening. That I've just said to us, know if that goes off because I've just seen a flash of a copy connection. But for obvious reasons, the extremists are very dangerous. They have been the screws, and they're not afraid to take lives inside the high security prison because some of them aren't getting out of prison again. So the reason why they're letting it, or they're not so much letting it happen, they're afraid of what might happen to them if they're not put in these type of units. Right, 2 seconds, people, while I see if I can get another comment up. So Roddle says, even if they said they were Christian, these prison authorities should grant them a unit. Too many liberals kneel into Islam in the hierarchy, and it stinks. So like you say, and the reason why they're not letting these non-Muslims have a unit to themselves, the ones that are being attacked or will come under attack by the Muslims, the reason what they've give is because if they bow down to the non-Muslims who are in the segregation units and they give them a unit to themselves, what they're saying is the non-Muslims will start then attacking Muslims and causing problems so that they get sent to this unit where the other non-Muslims are. So my opinion says, a few years back I was shipped to 4 different Cartier prisons, and as soon as I arrived in reception, the governor waiting straight to segregation. So again, when he was shipped to 4 different Cartier prisons, obviously must have had problems with the Muslim Brotherhood. And like he says there, the governor's waiting and they ship you straight down to segregation. You don't have a say in it. Even if you want to go onto the wings, you might have lads on the wings who's going to have your back. But because the governors got info or whatever's happened in the last prison, they will not put you on the wing because of what might happen. So Paul says, don't they run Scottish prisons? Thank you very much for your donation as well. But I have spoke with the lads up in Scotland. I've got a few pals up there, and I've done a podcast with Tin Pail, and it's different up in the Scottish prison system. There's not as many up there, so there's not as much of a stronghold. Because the Scottish prison estate compared to England is much less. There was about 90,000 prisoners now in England and Wales, and Scotland is about, I believe it's around about 10% of what that is. I'm not sure on the exact figures, but I will look that up. But it's a lot different up in the Scottish prisons. It's not, like I've said, there's not as many up there, and obviously that's the reasons why. Right. Albie says, great show, bud, and congrats on the subscriber count. 100k. Yes, so if you are just joining, 100,000 subscribers. I'm 4 away from it. Channel. I started it over 2 years ago. I did initially start up called after my book Behind the Bars, Ruthless Fitness, which is all about physical and mental fitness. If you do want to have a look at it, I'll buy a copy, go to the description or the about section or the links in the but physical mental fitness, that's what I do like. Good physical and mental well-being is physical exercise. So that's what we will start off like, but as soon as I start mentioning the prison topics, as you can see, the subscriber and the viewer count went through the roof, so that's the direction the channel went. Right, let's have a look on here, get some more comments up. Well, Stephen J says, big shout out to you, thank you very much. Oh, Paige Brown says, can't hear, it's buffering. Let us know if it's back on, Paige. All right, that is me signal, so if it has been going off, I do apologise, people. So, John Devaney says, how are the prison officers dealing with the situation on a daily basis on an operational level? So the prison officers are obviously just following orders. They're not the ones that make up the rules. They get told of the governors or the senior officers on the wing. So you are still talking about the prison officers, but everything comes from security and the governors of the prisons. They're the ones who are in charge, who tells people or tells the screws what to do. But if you imagine these screws are just going in on a daily basis to earn a living, to make money, they're not wanting to be chopped up or done in off anybody inside a prison, so they will do whatever makes their life easy inside a prison. So Stephen J says, did my comment come through as it's buffering? Let us know how bad the buffering is, because if it's too bad and it's annoying people, I will end the live, because there's nothing worse than trying to watch something and it goes off. So 2 seconds, people. Well, yes, let us know if it's still buffering, because I will knock it off. Because like I say, last thing you want is to be watching this and it's buffering away like that, because it is annoying. Right, I'll have a look to see if there's any more. So my opinion says it's okay. Nice one. So I'll do another 5 minutes, people, before I knock this off, because I am running a bit short on time. So my opinion says message came through about Durham. I'll have a quick look back to see if I can find anything. Because like I say, it's when you're doing it on these phones, it is a bit of a... Oh, here. So Stephen says, I was in Durham 11 years ago this April, and even back then on B-Ring was rampacked with Muslim-orientated things, or just spiraling out of control, not enough screws to handle the cons. Well, at the moment as well, the prison system is absolutely on its arse with this overcrowding. It's understaffed, overcrowded, and rampacked full of everything. And then with this on top as well, inside the high security prisons, you can just imagine how bad things are getting. Right, people, I'll do one more comment and then I'll knock it off, because if it's interfering with the live, it's the last thing I want. Because like I've said, it annoys the life out of you if you're watching something that's buffering. You'll all be shouting at the telly, you bastard. Right. This is the last one, people. So Pompey says, what was the best prison you was in, bro? Well, believe it or not, the best one I was in is the ones that I've just been talking about, which was HMP Franklin. Even though it was the most dangerous, it was the best prison to do time in, because this might sound a bit crazy. People who haven't been to prison won't understand, but the type of prisoners that are in the high security prisons are actually a better class of prisoners. Even though they're the most dangerous, the majority are in for murder. But I would rather do time with them type of lads than the lads in the cat seas that are just fucking scrapping every day, arguing over shite, just full of little idiots running up and down causing grief, and it's just an absolute nightmare. But in the Cartier prisons, it's a lot more chilled, even though the violence, when it kicks off, is extreme. If you're just in there getting on with your time and doing your doing your bid with no trouble, then these prisons are good prisons to do your time in. But there is the but. They are the most dangerous and the most violent. Right. But I think I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. Hopefully you have enjoyed that, but I will, like I say, so Stephen says, haven't been back and buffering is okay now. But I will be doing more of these lives. I'll try and get a few in a week, because a lot of people, or a lot of the subscribers, like listening to these lives. And obviously you can interact and ask questions, and I'll give you straight answers. But thanks again for watching, everyone. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and stay safe.